in this video, we are going to have a little discussion and then make sure that we know how to manipulate and format comments within these cells here. So the simple interest formula is I equals PRT. And what that means, those of you in algebra will know that when we have PRT in this format, that means P times R times T. Now we need to know what P, R, and T mean. And so that's what we're going to do here, is take a look at a little discussion here. So I is the actual interest, and that will be a value that is expressed in dollars as far as how much is charged by a bank when they loan you money. So when you borrow money, you have to pay an interest amount on that loan. For example, if you buy a car and you make payments, part of your payment is going to be paying the interest, the amount of money that you have to pay back for the privilege of borrowing somebody else's money. So it's the cost of the money. And P is the amount that you actually borrow, the principal, the amount you borrow. R is what we call the rate, and we learned that in our previous lesson. It's going to be expressed as a percent. And T is time in years. Let's take a look at this a little closer. First of all, let's make sure that we can move these comments around, understand how we do that. So the way I have them set up now, if you were just to click in one of these, you'll see the little handles appear around, so you can resize these or you can move them. And so I'll go ahead and just start down on this bottom one here. And if I point to the little border there, it turns to that multi-directional cross or arrows. I can move those around. So I'm going to spread these out just a little bit here. And of course you can move these wherever you want to, and it will draw the arrow to the cell that it's related to. Well, let's take a look at time here. This is what confuses people a lot when it comes to using this formula. You've got to make sure that time is adjusted in years. So for example, and we can get some practice editing these comments here. So what I'm going to do first is make this just a little bit bigger by dragging that corner there. Give me some more space. And then I'm going to add a note. So you can do this too. For example. Six months is how many years? Now some of you may say, well, it's not a year. Well, it's 6 months. But we can still convert that to years. It'll just be less than 1 year. So it'll be some type of a decimal value. Now 6 months is pretty easy because we know that there's 6 months in a year. And so that's a half a year, and we know that 1 over 2 from previous lessons, 0.5. But if we didn't know, we could also take 6 and divide it by 12, and we could do that on our calculator. 6 divided by 12 is equal to 0.5. Now, if we're not sure, we could always come out here and use Excel as a calculator and put equals 6 divided by 12. 0.5. Let me give you a problem to do. How many years is 7 months? I don't know. I need to calculate it. Equal sign 7 divided by 12. I know it's going to be something less than 1, and there it is, 0.58333. That's how many years. How many years is 7 months? It's 0.58333 years. And so if we borrow money for 7 months, that's the value that would have to be placed in the formula when calculating time. So let me give you a couple more to do. Go ahead and calculate how many years there are in 3 months, and 8 months, and 9 months. And then go ahead and put your answer right there. So pause the video, do those calculations, and make sure you can do it. And then have me come on over and take a look at it. Or I'll go ahead and put the answers in here. And you can check your work to make sure you're getting those formulas correct. And one more. 9 months divided by 12 months. And that'll tell us how many years. So there are months and years. Well, let's take this a step further. How about this? How about days? $365 days. How many years is that? Easy one. It's 1 year. There's 365 days in a year. Well, let's make it a little more difficult. How about 90 days? What if you borrow money for 90 days? Does anybody borrow money for 90 days? These things do happen. Absolutely. It does happen in the world of business. So, 90 days is how many years? What do you think we're going to do here? Think about that. Think about the number of days. It's going to be a fraction of a year. 90 days is going to be less than a year. Equal sign. 90 divided by 365. 0.246575 years is 90 days. Now, of course, you could have also done this. You could just click on the 90 there, divided by the number of days in a year. 0.246575 years. How about this? How about 19 days? How many years is 19 days? .052055 years. Or you can use it as a calculator, type it in directly. There you go. So that's how you can convert months and days to years. You could do this for hours, minutes. You could find out how many years 1 second is. There'd be a challenge problem for those of you that would like to try to work that out. You could show that to me, maybe for a little bit extra credit. How many years? How about 1 minute? We'll do that. How many years is 1 minute of time? Good luck with that. And that'll conclude this lesson, Introduction to Simple Interest.